Guys, this is a quick update about the things we have been doing over this week in the B2 upper intermediate course, communication course, and that's Francisco into this basically, and maybe some other who hasn't been able to attend our online lessons. Hopefully we'll soon be able to resume common lessons, okay, so in class, again, not on Skype. Now, we started on page 113, exercise 7, which is customer service. It says complete expressions with these verbs. Who does these things? The customer or the service provider. So if you take a couple of minutes to complete the text, well, these sentences with the appropriate verbs, and I'll give you the answers in a second. So pause the video now. The answers are behave appropriately, that's service provider, politely, that's the customer, both, professionally, service provider, badly, both, and offensively, both can behave offensively. Then pay a service, charge, or pay a bill. Pay a service, charge is the customer, and pay a bill again is the customer. 3, give a tip, that's the customer, una propina, and give a refund, that's the service provider when they give you the money back because you're not happy with the service. 4, leave a tip, that's the customer. 5, offer, service provider, provide, service provider, charge for, cobrar por, again, that's the service provider, pay for, that's the customer, a service or extras. So say offer a service, offer extras, provide the service, provide extras, and so on. Number 6, make a mistake, that's the service provider, the customer is always right, remember. And make an apology, again, it's the service provider who makes an apology, okay. And ask for an apology, that's the customer, and ask for a refund, again, the customer. In exercise 8, which we also went on, says read and complete the conversation with some of the expressions from exercise 7, but you have to change the verb forms where necessary. So again, take a few minutes, and then I will give you the answers there. So pause the video now. Here are the answers. Number 1, behave politely. 2, made a mistake. 3, charging for a service. 4, ask for a refund. 5, given or left a tip. And 6, pay a bill. In exercise 9, so that was the speaking we did, and it went on for over 20 minutes, almost half an hour. So it's work in groups of 3. So okay, so we are in small groups, so we could do that on the internet, on Skype. It says read a comment from a British student, and what is the normal tipping behavior in your country? He says, I'm planning a trip to the States soon, and a friend has just told me that not only is it compulsory to leave a tip in restaurants, but that I should leave between 15 and 25% of the bill. It's my friend joking. So from that, we went to page 164 and we saw what is customary to the United States and in Britain. I told them about Britain, what is tipping policy in Britain, restaurants, taxis, everywhere. So, and we talked about that. So, do you leave tips? Don't you leave tips? Do you think it is acceptable to leave tips? It isn't acceptable. Why? Again, so I'm happy to listen to your comments if you send that to me as voice message in Gmail. All right. Then we also went on to page 114, any other business, and we did a listening. Okay, again, so you can have the listening. It's on listening 55, okay, 56 in your CD-ROM in your students' book, so you can find that there. Okay, nice. It says number 1, work in pairs. We did it as a class. Okay, what do you value most when you deal with the company's helpline? Okay, which of these things, okay, do you value most? Okay, so again, so this is a discussion, so that went on for a few minutes, and I will be more than happy to answer that. Okay, if you do number 2 and number 3, you listen and then you can write the answers to me and send them to me by email. Then we looked at some vocabulary about taking part in meetings. RSAA, which is remember, receive, appreciate, summarizing what you've heard and asking questions. And here there are some expressions which you can use with the adequate intonation, which is also important here. Then, if you listen to exercise 4a, listen to the responses for showing understanding in the useful language box. So you listen to page 56, to listening 56, so you will be able to. The answers for that are the following for exercise 4a. Okay, so if you are there, let me give you the answers. 1 is surprise, 2 understanding, 3 disagreement, 4 understanding, 5 understanding, 6 disagreement, 7 understanding, 8 disagreement, 9 surprise, and 10 again is understanding. We skipped number 5 and we went to number 6, minute, which we did in class, I think about 3 or 4 months ago, minutes, which means actas. So we had to read this minute of the meeting in exercise 2, okay, and and we analyzed, and we went then, after reading and practicing pronunciation, we went to exercise 7, reporting verbs. It says 7a, look at the groups of reporting verbs 1 to 5, and underline 5 reporting verbs in the minutes that have the same patterns. Add the reporting verbs to these groups. So after verb plus gerund, I recommend, okay, on the one hand. So then there is also propose and suggest plus gerund, suggest someone to do something is wrong. Then in group 2, verb plus infinitive, promise, refuse, and offer. Number 3, verb object plus infinitive, invite, ask, and remind. 4, verb plus that, explain, realize, and agree. And verb plus object plus that, tell, warn, and inform. There is more grammar on that on page 158. But in groups 1, 2, and 3, when you use the infinitive or the gerund, if you use the reported speech, the tenses do not change because you are already using the infinitive or the gerund. And infinitives and gerund don't change in reported speech. However, with group 4, verb plus that, or group 5, verb plus object plus that, so after that there is a sentence, and here the tenses change. For example, after that, present simple in reported speech, past simple, present continuous, past continuous. But this only applies in groups 4 or 5. Okay, well, there is a sentence after that. It does not apply, so if there is an infinitive or a gerund. Okay, guys? And we finish this week with exercise 7b. Choose the correct option to complete the sentences, which are all different kinds of reported speech. So pause the video now, and I'll give you the answers in a few minutes. Okay, so the answers for 7b. Number 1, told. 2, proposed. 3, explained. 4, asked. 5, warned. 6, has invited. 7, promised. And 8, refused. Okay, so as a homework, I ask you to transform these sentences from reported speech, as they are now, into direct speech. For example, number 1, the agent told me that my complaint was being looked into. What did the agent actually say? The agent said, your report is being looked into. So you have to do the same with numbers 2 to 8. So you can send them to me written, okay, in the Gmail account that you all have. All right, guys, so I hope that you have a nice week, and I'll see you soon. Bye.